What's going on, MuvMinters? Welcome to episode 210. I'm Crystal Clear, and let's go ahead and start off with a prayer. My dear Heavenly Father, I thank you for this day, Lord. Thank you for once again having everybody come to watch this episode of MuvMint Monday. Lord, I ask that you would help me say the right words that people need to hear to get through their situations and their struggles through the week. Lord, I ask that you would just continue to bless everybody through the day, night, and also while they sleep at night in bed. Give your angels charge over everyone. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. It's been a while, MuvMinters. I know, I've been away for a couple of months from MuvMint Monday because I've been doing a lot of construction work out here over at Studio B. I'm currently building a booth right now with my brother Azrael, and soon, maybe within a couple of weeks, we'll be able to do full production here at Studio B. But that's not the full extent of our discussion today. The topic I want to discuss about is you being a loser! Psych. You guys ain't a loser. I'm just playing with you. But I do want to talk about the lessons that you can learn from losing in the situation. A lot of times, everybody has an achievement, has a goal, like for example, like I always like to use the analogy of sports. Everybody's trying to win that championship, whether it's the NBA Finals or the Super Bowl, baseball, you got the World Series, or just everyday Joes like you and me. We want to get that job that we always wanted, or we want to make that album to be multi-platinum so we can win a Grammy on, or just want to just be, just a normal person living a normal life and just being happy. But when we don't achieve it, it can be so detrimental to not only, just feeling that you lost in the game of life and trying to be number one in life, but also it's just detrimental to your drive sometimes, and to your mind and your spirit. It's hard to take a loss. Just like, the Super Bowl when the Kansas City Chiefs beat the San Francisco 49ers. Right after you see the champion celebrate when the clock hits zero, the camera always seemed to shift on the team that lost the championship. You'll see them on the sidelines crying sometimes. You'll see people, just have that blank stare on their face because they feel like all this year they wasted their whole entire year. They put all that hard work, they put all that dedication and drive into being successful in winning this championship, just to go out as the loser, especially at number 2 in the whole entire sport. And it just heartbreaking sometimes. There are times where I rooted for teams when I thought that they was going to win, and they didn't. At the last second, got beat out by the team that everybody thought was going to be a better team the whole time. A couple years ago, my Philadelphia Phillies, even though people say they shouldn't have been there, they were able to take 2 games out of the Houston Astros, and it made the people in Philadelphia believe that, hey, we might got a shot. Until we had that unfortunate no-hitter kind of game. I believe it was game 5 or game 4 or something like that. But I think it was game 4. But you know what? And that's when you just feel the agony of defeat when you see the other team celebrates the championship and you just walking away. You feel like you wasted your whole year doing it. But I want to give you some great lessons that you can learn from when you suffer a loss. Not only like just in sports, but suffer a loss in life, if you are trying to achieve your goal. So let's go ahead. 7 quick things I want you to learn about, okay? Number 1. One thing I learned about when losing in situations in life is that I wasn't good enough. It's the hard reality that you're not good enough to be number 1. You know what I mean? Because everybody thinks when they go into a sport or a profession that, I'm the best in the best, you know what I mean? I don't think there's a lot of people who go into their profession thinking I'm the worst player or the worst secretary or the worst manager in the whole company. I'm just the worst. That doesn't happen. Everybody thinks that when they go into something, you're the best. Even though there's plenty of truck drivers at my job who've been more experienced than I am, and more qualified than I am, I still think I'm the best truck driver in the whole business. But that's just me being cocky. I've always been kind of cocky. But sometimes when you get to that situation, you build yourself up in your confidence. Your confidence gets shaken when you realize that maybe I wasn't that good enough. Many teams, many sports teams, they were almost there, but they realized they weren't good enough when they lost the championship. You always remember the winners because the winners is written in history, but you never seem to remember who was the team that they beat. And it's devastating sometimes. But at the same time, it's the cold hard reality, maybe you wasn't good enough. But just because you wasn't good enough is going to lead to my second point. My second point of lesson is, even though you wasn't good enough, maybe it just wasn't your time. Not yet. Not yet. You know how many times champions didn't win the title, didn't win that championship? I believe LeBron James lost with the Cleveland Cavaliers when he first went to the NBA Finals. But it just wasn't his time yet because he needed to have the team to build on what they established on their team to maybe go again and get it the next time. But he's not the only one. There are plenty of guys that lost in life the first time. But then they're able to bounce back again and get it in the future. They were able to mature. They were able to figure out what's going on. What do we need to do so that next year we'll be back in this. Same thing in life. I failed at being a producer in music. I failed a lot of things in my life. I used to be an illustrator. I went to Savannah College of Design to be an illustrator. In that, I was confident that I would be good at what I was doing, and I ended up being a failure at it. So I ended up myself feeling like I was a loser when it came to me achieving my goal in the profession of art. But just because it wasn't my time, doesn't mean that time for you to be who you are, to be your greatest self, to be what you always thought you could be, and maybe not only what you thought you could be, but be what God wanted you to be. That second time might come around the next time. So you got to be prepared for that and just learn how to take your lessons and your lumps in life and apply it to going forward and continue to what you need to achieve. In congruence with that is my third lesson. Whenever you lose or don't achieve your goal, there's always a room for growth. As I said earlier, you just didn't get there yet. You didn't get that job yet. You didn't get with that goal yet. But then you learn what you're not doing right, so that when that opportunity comes around again, you try to apply your new lessons, your new knowledge of what you have done before, and change the narrative so that the next time when that opportunity comes around again, you will get that achievement, you will get that goal, you will get that dream that you always wanted to get. So when you lose in a situation like that, you can always have the opportunity to pick yourself back up off of your feet, learn from your mistakes, and get back into what you wanted to do with life. The best part about sports is you lose the championship, and then maybe some teams don't even get to the championships. You get to you get maybe game 2 of the playoffs, like in the NFL, or you don't make it to the division title game before you get to the Super Bowl or whatever sport. But the best thing about it is, even though it sucks not to be the champion this year, back in the next season is only a few months away, and we get to start it all over again. Everybody goes back to zero. You know what I mean? So, the second time will come around again. And just like in sports, it'll come around again and again and again. Even champions, we celebrate, we're the champions, woohoo! But in a couple of months, we're back to square zero. And we got to work our way to the top again. And if athletes do it, we can do it too. Our life does not end when somebody says no to your dream. You just get on the grind and you pick yourself back up again. And not only it leads to growth, it also leads to my fourth lesson that I learned from losing a lot. When there's room for growth, there is room for opportunity. Sometimes in opportunities rises, we falter and we don't achieve our goal. Maybe after that, you realize that might not be the goal that you really wanted it to be. Like I said, I wanted to be an artist. When I failed at my opportunity of being an artist, it opened up another door for me to go back into the music. And you know what, come to think of it, now that I look back everything on my life, I realized that, the opportunity was better with me doing music. I have a more natural niche for doing music than I did in art. I don't feel like it's complicated doing music, and I realized that I love music even more than I did art. But it took me to fail in the field of art to make me realize that there's better opportunities for me elsewhere. Just because your dream dies of whatever you wanted to be doesn't mean you can't create another dream for your future. My fifth lesson that I learned, when you lose a lot, it shows if you really want it. Come on, let's fess up. How many times did people told Eminem, no, we don't want you to be on the label, we don't think you can rap? How many times were the doors were closed up and shut on him? But then at the same time, he kept driving for it because he believed that he had the talent to not only be one of the best rappers out there in the game today, but to have the talent to even just to drive to continue to produce good music. And then all the people said no, and then all of a sudden the opportunity arose when Dr. Dre said yes. So how many times you see athletes lose, never won a championship, never won this, but still opportunities still arise for them because they continue to never stop when people say no. They continue to drive because they know that they can do it and be good at it. And here's the stunning thing about lessons in winning. Winning isn't everything, which is my sixth point. Winning isn't everything. But giving up equals to nothing. So even though you don't win anything, even though you didn't get the job that you wanted, maybe you didn't win that championship, but because you still get yourself up and drive to be the best that you can be, you still have the opportunity to be who you need and want to be. Said it best, if you shoot for the moon, you might miss. But even though you miss, you're still amongst them stars. So don't let the loss make you quit permanently if you know this is where you want to be in your life. If you know this is where your calling is. Don't give up. Keep going at it. Just learn your lessons and learn a different way to get there. For every Eminem, there's a Crystal Clear. And for every Biggie, there's a Big Sticks. And it's no shot to me or Big Sticks or anybody, but I'm just saying that there are some people who are going to be up there, and then some people who maybe not, and maybe will be in the future. But that doesn't diminish the talent and the respect that people will have for you for at least going out there and performing to the best of your abilities every day. And the last lesson I wanted to discuss with you with as far as losing is that winning may create temporary happiness, but a loss can create an eternity of wisdom. So take everything that you applied in the field that you're in, and maybe, like I said, you might not get there. You might not be number one. You might not be number two. But when you leave this earth and you think about everything that you did in your life, and you realize the achievements that you strive through or that you work through, you're going to be proud about what you have learned. And not only that, your children will see what you're doing too. So, it's maybe your children won't be a producer or an athlete just like you, but they can learn the knowledge that you've learned and apply it to whatever field that they go into so that they can achieve their goals. The beauty part about life is we get to pass down our genes and our experiences to our children. And whatever they do, it's crazy because I see my sons watch me every time I make music. I might only get like a couple thousand streams, But the fact of the matter is, when I'm playing something at the studio and my sons are singing it, that brings a big joy to my heart. So your kids are watching you as you learning how to be the best you can be through your goal. So yeah, maybe you won't make it all the way to the top, but when you leave this earth, and if you're proud about what you've done in life, you're a winner to me. And I hope you guys understand that. I'm not going to drag much time about what's going on with Sound Rec, but I will let you know that there are 2 albums coming out this year. Big Chuck, he got his album Fall in Love Again. That's coming out, I believe, later on in the 4th quarter of this year. And also we got his Big Stig's album, Him, Humble Yet Musically Necessary, also coming out this same year as well. I believe my brother also said that there was interviews coming out in later on this year, and I think Big Chuck got a single coming out in June, and we're trying to have Big Sticks have a single out come out around that time as well. I'm going to go ahead and let you go right here because I'm going to get back to the music. As always, stay tuned, stay alert, and always remember, you are the movement. And I hope you guys understand that a loss does not make you a loser. Okay? So get to it, and I'll see you guys on the next episode.